back.
Hey guys, just finished watching Black Lightning, Season 2, Episode 15, The Book of Apocalypse, Chapter 1, The Alpha. Wow, this episode was interesting. Now, we only have one episode left after this, so that's going to be interesting. I haven't watched the trailer yet for it, so but I think it's a really interesting episode. We start off this episode with Jefferson setting kind of some new rules, and they mostly kind of some new rules for his daughter, and they mostly kind of agree with most of them until the don't kill part. And I think that's kind of the interesting one to seeing as to where things kind of go with that. And it's interesting seeing Jennifer. She's kind of been on that kind of moral code, and that whole don't kill this and that, and that whole kind of she's kind of clearly just kind of naive in the way she's kind of wanting just revenge and not seeing clearly. But I kind of wish it was a little bit more, and I guess you can't get that with him with the family relationship. You wouldn't really have that, but to get more of that Punisher versus Spider-Man moralistic code, or Punisher versus Captain America moralistic code type thing, Batman versus Superman type thing, that moralistic code, where Batman's willing to go a bit darker than Superman is willing to go, things like that. I think it definitely would be interesting. Or even Superman and Punisher, which would never get that, but would be an interesting code to kind of put the two at the ends, never about killing, whereas Punisher's all about killing. And I think that's kind of the interesting idea, and they play with that a lot on the Punisher show, yet they just can't go that far in here with this show just because Jennifer just comes off as just naive, so I think that would have been an interesting way to build up to something like that as she kind of gets older throughout the show. Could be something to see. So I think it could be something like that. Maybe she finishes off for this time, gets the idea, okay, I'm not going to kill him, and ends that storyline for a little bit of her wanting to kill Tobias, and then if the show makes it to like season 7 or 8 or whatever, then you bring that back up once she's a lot more mature and she can make her own decision, where she's like, sometimes you just have to, like in the cases of in the Punisher show, things like that, right? So I think that would have to be an interesting case, just to have the argument for both sides. I think it would be a really interesting to really play both sides a little bit more. Whereas right now it's obvious that she just seems a bit naive and stuff. So I think it could be something interesting to see as to where things go with that. So we see Tobias lets the other metahumans out of his prison. I think that's kind of an interesting idea, and I think that's kind of it was really cool. So he let some of them out. He only lets like two or three extra, so I'm not sure how many he has. Does he only have 4? He has the guy who can control vibrations, and then the fire guy, the ice guy, and the water chick type thing. So it's like that's all he has. So he's going to sell them for what? 10 million a piece to make a ton of money, or 100 million a piece and then make a ton of money off of them, so I think that's kind of interesting. And then he was willing to kind of let the fire guy kind of die throughout the episode. So how many does he actually have? I guess he has a bunch of he does have the pod kid, and then he punches one of them later on and just destroys one of them. So I guess he throws that out. Jennifer really wants Tobias dead, so that's going to be an interesting storyline there. See where that goes for the next episode or next season, since we've been confirmed for next season already, so that'll be cool. Lynn ends up asking Jen to talk to Wind Girl, but that never happens in this episode. Lynn ends up telling Odell, yells at Odell, and he just gives in to her. And I think that was interesting, the whole storyline with Odell kind of following and watching everything, and he even mentions Black Lightning and Thunder by name to them, and he's like so close. He's almost like, I just understand how she hasn't suspected him. She even says, oh, we shouldn't be talking over the phone, saying this over the phone and all that stuff. How is she not suspecting him from looking into this? Clearly she knows he's ruthless, and this would not be above him to do what he's actually doing. So I just feel like she should, at some point, she should be able to notice this. And I guess Gamby, ever since Agent Odell has set up all this stuff, Gamby hasn't gone to the Pierce house ever since, and kind of just been around, because I feel like Gamby, even though he's like a Swiss Army knife, he always has an answer for every problem, which still doesn't make sense as to where he has any of the money or the knowledge. Okay, he learned that, but he has a little bit too much knowledge sometimes. But where is he getting the money to do all that? But I'm not going to get into that. That just gets me too ranty if I do that. But the idea that if Gamby were over, he would have his phone or something, would be able to detect that, this whole house is being bugged, you're being watched, so that he knows whatever room he's in, wherever he is, he knows what he can and can't say, or whether or not he's being watched by someone, right? I think it would make sense. He would be able to notice that. Maybe his smartwatch would even tell him that, right? And so I guess Gamby hasn't been home over to the Pierces at any time since, because that would be something interesting to see him over and him not, making sure that they're not clear. Or if, I guess if he's calling someone who's actually, he did call Jennifer. Did he call Jennifer? Or no, Lynn called Jennifer, and then Odell was listening. So if he were to call someone, would he not be able to tell on his end with his tech that someone else is listening into it, I think that would be quite interesting, especially because if his tech is like the ASA tech, he should also recognize that someone else is listening with the same tech that he has, right? So he should be able to recognize that. So that's kind of interesting. It'd be nice to know why that hasn't happened yet, since he's always the answer to every problem. So why hasn't he figured that? Why hasn't he stumbled upon Odell, into the Pierce's life, right? We see Nyssa finally thinking that Grace might be a metahuman, so she's putting that together. So it'll be cool to see if we get to see them reunite in the next episode. I think that could be interesting, and I think she does, decide that she wants to find her. Maybe reveal that she is a metahuman too, and I think that could be interesting to see as to where that goes. Hopefully, what I'd like to see is to see the two of them reveal to each other that they're both metahumans, and then end the episode with that. At least that for their storyline, and leave that and not deal with how the reaction is until the next season. And I think that could be something interesting to play with, to leave it on. But you have to build it up. I guess they got to build it up on more of a just because they both have metahumans and they're both willing to deal with each other doesn't mean that Grace is going to just accept Anissa in open arms, because her powers are way different than Anissa's plain just, I'm bulletproof, I can lift cars, I can lift a car over my head, right? So just a bit more complicated powers than that, and I think that could be an interesting idea to see how those powers, since her powers are a bit more physical and out there type thing, it's kind of a bit more of a I guess like a disability, so it's a bit more kind of a strain on the relationship. I think that could be interesting to see as to where things go with that in the next season. Tobias sends the fire guy just out in the streets, kind of show off his powers to the people in the dark web. And I think that was interesting, but he's kind of willing to. And the fire guy just kind of goes around. He ends up, he attacks the rally and all that kinds of stuff to get on the news and all that. And then he heats up some pipes, and then they kind of blow up houses, and it was just kind of a bit weird as to how that was happening. It didn't make sense, it didn't make sense whatsoever. It would have made more sense if they had the guy just kind of driving around, just kind of walking around town, and he can sense the heat in the pipes, right? And he's just going around town, around the neighborhoods, where a lot of houses are, the more suburban areas of the Freeland, and kind of burning the pipes from there. And then all the different houses are blowing up. That would kind of make sense when he's closer to the house. When he's just kind of, I don't know where he was even at. It was like an underground parking garage, just kind of burning, random pipes, and things were going down. That didn't make sense whatsoever. So it was just kind of silly seeing that, if he was, right underneath of the main town in Freeland where there's a bunch of restaurants and stuff, and all those things are taken off with the big fancy, fryers and stuff full of propane and all that stuff are really kind of exploding. That would make sense, he's like an underground parking garage near the downtown and stuff. That would make sense. It's just right downtown. But him blowing up something like at a parking garage, and then them worry about Jennifer and their house way over in we don't know how. I have no idea how far it is, but let's say it's 20 minutes away at least. Didn't make sense to me as to how that stuff would just explode like that, just because he's heating it up way over at the other end of town type thing. We see that Jen, she uses her powers to see what Gamby last saw on his screen. I think that's a really interesting idea, seeing her using powers like that. Just being able to see, feel the heat and feel where, feel the electricity where it last was in the screen, to be able to, recreate the last bit. And I think that was kind of really interesting seeing that. We see Lala. He's in this episode here and there talking to the guy who kind of brought him back, and he decides to go kill Tobias, but he's 10 feet away from Cutter and misses her. I mean, I know he's all messed up in the head, and he got stabbed 3 times in the chest and stuff by Cutter, but it's like, how did he miss her from such close range? I didn't understand that, because he's had guns before. It's not his first time with guns, so whatever. It's just, I guess it's gonna chop it up to maybe him being crazy and stuff. That's why he was, he's not thinking straight or something. That's why he missed her. But it was just kind of a bit silly how, she was so close to him, and he missed her with that. Jen ends up going after Tobias, and that's when her powers, she's wearing the new suit, but the new suit looks okay, but you don't really get a good look at it, and then her powers kind of look like they're about to explode because the suit's not ready. So I think that could be interesting to see. That's going to be interesting to see as to where things go, because we get a to be continued for the next episode, which is going to be the last episode of this season. So all in all, I can't wait to see as to where things go with that. I think it could be quite fun. Definitely looks like an interesting thing for the next episode. I mean, in the comics, she's always been, at least when I've known for the research for this stuff, because I haven't really been reading too much comic books before this, or the Black Lightning comics before the show and stuff, but she's always been, in the comic book, she's always been more of like a Human Torch type character, whereas her powers are she doesn't have a costume. Her powers are her costume. So here it's going to be interesting to see as to how things go with that. I'm not going to do that in the show too much. I'm not going to have her constantly lit up and all that stuff. It's just not going to work in this show, because you couldn't just sit there with electricity going off. This show, I don't think the show that has the budget for it. It doesn't look like it does. So the lightning's looking okay. It's starting to look a little cheesy and stuff, but I think they got to just bring up the special effects on her a little bit more, especially if she's going to stay constantly charged up like that. I think that needs to needs to look a little different. Needs to find a different way of doing it, but we'll have to wait and see. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.